Hello everyone, and welcome back to Python MC. I'm your host Richard Ashe, and now we're going to get into EarSketch and show you an example of for loops. Let's go ahead and get started. And so let's see, we'll just start our first script here. We'll call it for loops demo. And then I'm just going to put an underscore v5 and call it really whatever you want. And now let's get into examples of for loops. So the first thing I want to do is I want to drop in my list of beats. And so all the media files rather. So I'm just going to go ahead and I already copied and paste these. So I have my loops clip, which will be for loops, while loops repeating like a music track. The variables clip is the vocals for variables like a name tag. And here are my beats. Now, last time we had beats as just variables, so as a single value, I should say. This is a list of beats. So we have a bunch of beats in square brackets. That makes it a list. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a for loop to step through each of one of these and then do something with that beat. So to create that for loop, let's go for beat in beats. Now, for beat, like we've seen in previous presentations, that is simply a variable name. I could call that, for I in beats. It doesn't matter. I just call it for beat in beats because it makes a lot more sense for our program. Now, you'll notice it automatically indented for spaces. Should have. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it didn't. Okay. So it's got to be really careful with for loops. It's always indented for spaces. So everything that's inside that block will repeat. And I will just show you also some code that's not going to repeat at the end, which is just, print, here we go. And that'll just print out, here we go, down here. I'll just show you how that doesn't repeat because it's outside of that indented block. So everything that's indented for spaces will be included in this loop. And so for beat and beats, let's see, we're going to use fit media. And so I'm just going to, it's just like insert media, as we learned from last time, but fit media, the big difference here, it allows you to change the length of the track. So it has another parameter, end, which specifies where the track's going to end. So but before we do that, we need to set our start. So start equals 1. Oops. 1. Then track equals 1. And then end now equals, make end equal what, 16, I think is the best place for us. Yeah, let's do that. And then the first thing we'll do is we're going to put in fit media at this beat. It's going to go through the first beat, and it's going to put in RD trap bass drop 3. It'll put it at track 1 because that's what track equals. It'll put it start, so the first measure, and then the end will equal 16. And then we're going to increase the track by 1, so we're going to go to the next track, and then we're just going to go with insert media, and this where it's going to drop in the variables clip, so just the vocals, variables. It's like a name tag, but it's using insert media, so it's not going to have an end parameter. It's just going to put it. Let's look at what track number. So it was at track 1, but then we've increased the track by 1, so now it's at track 2. It's going to start at the same place at the first measure. Now we're going to increase the track by 1. So we're going to go to track number 3. And then the start increases by 2. So now it's going to start not on the first measure, but on the third measure. And then let's go ahead and insert the loops clip. It's going to look like this. So it's going to go insert media. So again, it's going to just insert the entire clip. It's not going to tell it. It's not going to tell it where to end. It's just going to tell it where to start. So it's going to start on now it's going to be on track number, let's see, it should be on track number 3 by now. And then the starting measure will be starting measure number 3. And then it'll put in the loops clip. And then we're going to increase the track. We're going to go to the next track. We're going to increase track by 1. Push out the start to now measure 5. And then the end will be at measure 20. So let's just run that and see what happens. So what it's going to do, it should, and we'll just look at the sound browser now. it's gone through, and the script is like, if I was using a typical digital audio workstation, I would have had to drag all these clips in and then adjust them here. Because I'm writing this with a Python script, it does all that automatically. So it just put in the first track. It does the loop one time and puts in RD trap bass drop 3. Then it puts in the variables clip, and then puts in the loops clip. And then it's gone through that. After it's put in the loops clip, it goes back to the start here of for beaten beats. But because it's already dropped in bass drops 3, it'll then advance to the next item in the list. And then that's what it'll put in for the beat, and then it'll go through the loop again. So you notice then it inserts the variables clip again, it inserts the loops clip. And then it goes to the next item in the list, and so on. So it'll just step through each item in the list. And that's what a for loop does. It just walks through any type of iterable. So it could be a string, it could be a list, it could be a range of numbers created by the range function. It will go through anything that can offer up each member one by one. That's what an iterable is in Python. And so that's how it'll compose this in EarSketch. And so we'll go ahead and...
Variables, it's like a name tag.
Okay.
For loops, while loops, repeating like a music track.
That's way too fast though. So let's set our
variables, it's like a name tag.
To 100.
For loops, while loops, repeating like a music track. Variables, it's like a name tag. For loops, while loops, repeating like a music track. Variables, it's like a name tag. For loops, while loops, repeating like a music track. Variables, it's like a name tag. For loops, while loops, repeating like a music track. Variables, it's like a name tag. For loops, while loops, repeating like a music track.
All right, so now what we want you to do, as you'll notice from the very bottom of the screen, this is the one bit that was not included in the loop. And it just says, here we go. You notice that wasn't repeated several times. It was just done once because it wasn't part of the for loop clip. So you can see how for loops are used in EarSketch. What we want you all to do now is go into the code, play around with it and break it, make a copy of it, and then start to make it your own. Put in your own beats, put in your own start, your own finish, and play around with EarSketch, with for loops, and see what you can create. Till then, have a good time, and we'll catch you on the next one.